Anybody ever just think, you know, both sides has a point. Maybe we combine our thoughts together. Maybe we might create a new fucking utopia. Like, let's be real. Um, I've been like, I've always had this idea, and this is why I say my father used to say he used to say this for when I was young. He still say this now. They gave the right niggas money. And the reason why I know the reason why you say that, you see all these black millionaires and like all these black millionaires, they make money and all that other stuff. And you ever ask, what do they spend it on? They spend it on themselves. And like they spend it on nigga shit. Like I've realized this as I was growing up, and my favorite even my favorite rappers, they got $250,000 chains. House calls like you gotta. They literally say, "I got a house around my neck in this jewelry." It was like I could buy a house with this. They have Corvettes that cost millions of dollars and all that other stuff. Floyd Mayweather is one of the biggest dudes. He like flashing his money everywhere, but you ever like, what do you do with your fucking money? And then I remember like, and they asked me, "What would you do if you ever get rich?" And I'm like, I want to buy. I've always been the kind of dude who's like, all right, if I wanted to give back to me, how do I give it back? Charity is one thing, but why don't we build the community? How do we, the first thing I don't know if I said this story before, but I'm gonna say it again. There are things in Riverdale. I'm not in Riverdale, but when I used to grow up in Riverdale, the one thing I used to see all the time before I used to go to Templeton Elementary School was Riverdale Theater. I've never been in that theater, but that's the thing. Anybody knows like what would you say is one thing in Riverdale that everybody will say is in there? It was like the Riverdale Theater and the IHOP next to it because we had a Bauman's IHOP. Um, I've always every time I go by that theater, this shit is empty and like nothing goes on in there. It's been closed for 20 years. They try to run it back up, and then but they was costing money. They was trying to charge money for movies that's been out. Like it was like 2000 or something like that. And like Mulan came out in the 90s or something like that. And I was like, why would I pay to go see Mulan when I can get it for fucking DVD? So they end up shutting down again. And I've always thought to myself, like, if you had like a bunch of money, what would you? I don't. And I'm thinking to myself, I would buy Riverdale Theater and try to rebuild it or something. Maybe like turn it into something profitable, like a play, like where people could like have their plays, or a comedy show and all that other stuff. It's like I feel like this, and then you go to other parts. I feel like there are spots around your neighborhood that's just empty and condemned, and it's just like no one goes in there, and it's just like why don't nobody buys this? Like people go in and it's like how much you like how much does this cost? And I feel like white people do that too, and that's why like regentrification happens. It's like sometimes we'll just how can I say this? We see a abandoned building and think nothing of it. When white people see it and say, okay, I can start my business here. I can tear everything down, start my business. Hell, I can build a mall in this area. Nobody's been using this. I've always thought that. And then you see these millionaires, and they're just wasting money on bullshit. Let me like it's okay to flash. Here's my thing about flash. It's okay to flash, but I feel like white people flash different. Like Bill, like Hunker. Okay, Bill Gates, he's a billionaire, but he like his flash is different. It's just like it's not on his person. It's like excuse me. It's his business, and like his biggest flash is like his yacht that you can like live on. Like you can literally live on that yacht and like can be good. It looks as big as the fucking a navy boat, not like a carrier, but as big as a navy boat or some shit like that. Like you can live on that. Like I've always said, white people cause good, and then you got all these black millionaires. Now Rick Ross, like you get to people like your Diddy's and Rick Ross and all that stuff. You try to go into entrepreneur business and all that stuff, but it's like, where does that money go to? We just like you come. It's one thing if you put it back in your business, but what about excuse me? What about the residuals? A lot of these people, they're like worth $50 million. How much is it to build a fucking community? It shouldn't cost that much. Somebody, and I know a couple of rappers going in real estate. Everybody does a rapper because rappers don't really make that much money, but what they make outside of money. That's why a lot of people go into clothing. Some people go into acting. It's like some rappers, some of our black stars, they get like 30 millions and all that other stuff. What are we putting it on? Now they'll make their own mansion. They're like they got their own little 40 acres and a mule and all that other stuff. But does that really go anywhere? Because some of them just start selling it when they can't afford shit, and then you realize like I spent my money on dumb shit. Why don't we ever, one thing, and this is like I always thought about the communities that you grew up in. They're dirt poor, and it's like you tell people you could do it too, but you also tell people like in this industry, not only it's like only a chosen few get to be in it. So you really got to get in where you fit in. Like everybody's like, I have billionaire dreams, but we always doing nigga shit. Like we're so busy chasing the money that white people give us, we never think, how can I make my own money? And this era is probably one of the biggest eras where, like, how can I say this? Like, this era is one of the eras where you don't have to be gate kept. As Charlemagne has said, like, this is an era where you don't have to be gate kept. If you feel like you can get big off of, people got big off of Vine, people got big off of Instagram, people got big off of YouTube as well. And it's just like, where you putting this money at? And some people do, you make a living for yourself, and then I feel like you should always take care of yourself. But like a hustler is always going to find another hustle. Now, when I think of hustle, Apple was a hustle. Just like don't think of it as just like no get rich quick thing. Like Apple was a hustle. Like it does stuff for the community. Jaden Smith like water for Flip, like trying to preserve clean water. That's a hustle. It's like if big wigs are not doing it, maybe I can do it. Like we're in that area where we can like do shit. Um, Sometimes I think we look at our own community. Like where I'm at now, I go down the street. It's just like you know, instead of being a liquor store here, and this is coming from someone that used to, someone that drinks. I mean, I still drink. I wouldn't call myself alcoholic. I always drink. So, but I always think, what would be good here? A therapy center, a massage, for people, for churches. Like, why don't now a lot of y'all gonna be thinking that's white people shit, but we gotta get out. I feel like we gotta get out of that memory because it seems like white people always pamper themselves. Why we can't look at our neighborhood and it's like I could turn this into a neighborhood that's better than Beverly Hills. I don't have to go to Beverly Hills. I have my own Beverly Hills. I don't need to go to around this white people shit. Because let's be real, it's like the ghetto is bad. But I feel like we can always improve. I feel like we can always clean shit up. We can have our own little flavor and things. Like a black owned like we're it's starting like everybody's starting to get their own things like black owned vegans, food markets for people that are like trying to get vegans. We're now getting our own gyms. It's like we're like black people are like even though we still like our soul food, we got like options now. Yeah, hell. I don't want to have to go to a Chinese like nothing against other people of color like the Chinese and the Arabs and all that other stuff. Like we have our own, and that's the one thing. It was like how we get our own. It is just like some of these rappers instead of like some of them they don't. A lot of these rappers they don't care about this stuff. I don't expect rappers to. That's why I said they give the right niggas money because a lot of them just think about themselves. It's like how am I? And then it's like I need more money. When in some retrospect you have enough money to go somewhere and live off for the rest of your life. It's like do you really need that? It's like half of the shit is like do you really need that ice out chain? Like 6ix9ine got this like big ass shark chain. He got this big ass shark chain. It's just like, oh, that's good. And even like people giving to charity, I don't have a problem with charity, but at the same time, it's just like they go back. Like you go back to your when you're done with charity, you go back to your nice lifestyle, and they go back to wherever the fuck they go. Or some people don't even have places to go. All right, where is like some of these buildings? I feel like you can like create new jobs. You create new shelters. You create new, places that people can go. There's a lot of that around here, and it's like to me, I ask myself, what would you build around here? And I'm thinking to myself, well, for one, I got to build somewhere where even like I want to build law firms. Like the Jews got but the Jews, everybody say the Jewish lawyers. What about the black lawyers? Like we have smart black lawyers that know how to discuss things. Why don't we build something for them instead of like working for a Jewish lawyer? I have nothing with, and nothing against the Jews, but it's just one of the things you got to think. I'm smart too. Like I went to these colleges. I went to, I got my degree. That's the one thing I would help the people that's getting these degrees but still working at McDonald's and shit because they can't find a job. Let's let's take some of these empty fucking communities or empty fucking buildings. Hell, even buy the building. Like, wouldn't it be cool if like one of these millionaire rappers buy one of these buildings, turn it into a law firm, and say, "Now I got a law firm. I have my instead of saying I got this car, I got this car that no one got. I got this law firm. Who building a law firm, hiring black people, trying to help out the community. What about like hell? It's just like we it's so much opportunity, and this is why I say like the whole Democrat and I'm gonna relate this to like the Democrat Republican because black Democrats and black Republicans. It seems like sometimes we wait for a handout, but it's like okay, we're waiting for this handout instead of just getting our own. And even entrepreneurs, it's like entrepreneurs really look out for themselves, but it's just like how do they? A lot of their how do you build an empire? I say a lot of I don't know, a lot of people they when they get money on themselves it's just like but do you ever have a team to put around you to like build your empire? And like some of these people is like you done so here let's say done so here we got your Trump. It's like made a lot of money and so here we got your Trump. When are you going to change? When are you going to transition from selling out your Trump to going to a store and buying it out the store? When are we going to do that? And plus, I would say this: it's just like because I was seeing this in the strategy is like, why don't we buy our own businesses? Okay, we gotta. I'm thinking to myself, and I don't know if anybody else is just like, are they willing to sell to us? Because let's be real, like you could have the money, but are you going to sell to us? I don't think none of the black Republicans would think about that. I don't even think she thought about that. You can have the money, but are you going to sell to us? Bill Cosby was going to buy NBC, well, but nobody was trying to sell to him. They was trying to keep that, and I think a lot of these stores, are like it. I don't blame it. I don't like playing the victim. I really don't. It's one of the biggest things I feel like that's holding black people back. Even though, like, okay, let me tell you people this. Historically, we're right, but it's one of the things where it's like, I think Jordan Lucas, not you say Jordan Lucas, the amazing Lucas. He said it. He said, "Okay, you're right. I shouldn't be a victim, but at the same time, I shouldn't be in this situation in the first place. Why am I in this situation in the first place? It's just like slavery is bad. Get over it. Okay, but why was there slavery in the first place? We tell like, and this is kind of like what most people are telling people. Is just like, okay, I'm not playing a victim, but you do have to understand like the cards I was dealt with shit. Now I could probably flip this, but how far is like even then it's like even if I have the money, are you going to give it to me? And it's one of those things where is white supremacy going to get? And like who's owning these buildings? It's like if I wanted to buy from you, are you going to give me this building? It's like what are you going to put in this building in? It's like does it matter? If I'm buying from you, no. And some people just like, oh no, because they want to make money or profit off of it. Some people, that's why people rent buildings. I'd rather rent it to you than you own the building because if you make money off of that, I can't. So that's why like a lot of people rent buildings. So if that building gets successful, he can move the rent. I was seeing this in polls where like Blanca, she wanted to rent a building for to have her own hair salon. Now think about Blanca, and if I fuss with Blanca because Blanca was a business, but they wouldn't try to, and the old white woman wouldn't try to settle Blanca because she was trans. But every time, but eventually she sold the place to Blanca because Blanca went through the laws and all that other stuff. And Blanca was making money. She was making profit in her nail salon and all that other stuff. And yet the white woman still, even though she was making money and like Blanca was like really successful in the nail salon, she did not like her. That she ended up burning down the building in spite of her. And it's just like now this was this was bullshit, and I know it was just probably how she really thought. She was like, "Oh, they don't do this because I'm a woman and all that other shit." It was just like this woman would not take accountability for her own actions of burning down the fucking building. And that's another thing we're going to be talking about too: accountability. We need to talk about accountability. So, what do y'all think? It's just like because I don't want to say, "Oh, what was I never had this problem with, oh, what was me." It's more or less a how we going to get it. And I won't know. Like it's one of those things where a lot of people are afraid to take that jump, but it's just like I won't know if you try. It's one of those things that you don't know if you try. Like, do you think a law firm in the hood would work? I wouldn't know if I wouldn't try. And I think a lot of people are afraid to fail. And it's just like I'm afraid, and there's other people just like I'm afraid that this is a good idea, and we never got it off the ground. So you got to have that fight. That's why this is why people say you need to have like-minded people around you. I don't need people around me to think, "Oh, this might fail." I need people around me who's like, I feel like if I get this idea off the ground, we can be successful and all that stuff. And that's it. You know what? Come to think of it, like that's probably what I'm going to be talking about in this podcast tonight. Um, I want to okay because I'm on the whole reset the black community thing. If anybody knows, I'm on this whole black community reset the whole black community, and I'm trying to figure out ideas. And I'm here brainstorming ideas. Now, this has probably been done before. I don't care, but at least I have this on paper. It's like, let's have these ideas. What are the ideas? How would you rebuild the community? Where would you start? And this is a question I asked to y'all, to those who was willing to comment and all that stuff. I don't care if people don't get this now, but if people like all of a sudden like 10 years and these videos just popping up, maybe we'll get there. So with I want to know what's your ideas of that. So then, my name is Oskino Fly, and I'm out. Peace.